Hello and welcome, it's Kristy at Sewbits. Today I'm going to show you a project that is with Create and Craft with Christine, a slow stitch work mat for 2026 stitch along, and this is a template of the hexagons that you'll need, otherwise you can use your own hexagons. This is roughly 2.5 inches across here, and this was I think 1.5. 1.5 inches across, and that's how you measure your template, your hexagon. So I've printed this out, but I'm not going to be needing it because what I'm going to be using is my this is called a AccuQuilt machine, and this is called AccuQuilt cutter, and I will open it there. I have my templates here, so I'll be using this one here, and then I'll be using this one to go over the top, but I'm going to make mine by machine because I have this here as well. I thought I had the little template for them, but I don't know where they've gone. Let me have a look. They're floating around somewhere. They'll come up. So what I will do is these little triangles, they're called equilateral triangles. They go on opposite sides there, and then they go there as well, and they get sewn on by the machine. So you put your fabric on here. I'm going to be using this print, and then the equilateral triangles I'm going to be using some leftover fabric, and I really want to use my leftovers. It doesn't matter if they're a little bit beige or a bit white. That one's a little bit more white, but they're just leftovers and I really just want to get rid of them. So this is the perfect project to do that. So these are tilde fabric. I nearly said Tula pink. Tilde fabric is that I'm using out of my stash. And I have some vintage ones as well, which I think I'll put in there. But at the moment, I've just got these ones. So that's the newest bundle. This one's called Spring Creating Memories. And I don't know what this one I think is the Windy Days. This is Windy Days collection. And I don't know what these ones are. Okay, so let's just move them out the way. Now I've cut out my hexagon enough to go, and you always waste hexagons when you're cutting as well. So it didn't matter that I was wasting a little bit. So I get my machine and I put it here. Now what I might do is, you can't see that, so I'm going to bring you up higher. There, that's about it. And so I put my mat there. Now just I need to sort out my fabrics the correct way they were before I put them together. Before I put them on the table, I mean. I have to keep an eye on the time. I have to go and pick my daughter up. That's right, I've got enough time. Right, there. Okay, so what we do is find out the weft and the warp. The weft and the warp, I think it is, yeah. The weft it goes horizontal, so if you remember weft, W-E-F-T, it has an E in it, so that means those lines that create the E is the way the fabric sits straight without stretching. It doesn't stretch, but when the warped, I don't know how to say, I think it's W-A-F-T, you can see that the fabric stretches and it doesn't make that noise. Makes like a frog noise, whereas when you do it straight, it doesn't stretch, makes a sound like that. So that's the part. I hang on, I have to get it right. So if I'm doing that, I have to put that in the machine. Just a minute. So I have to turn that round again. So that noise that I've just created has to go through that machine that way. So that's why it's a bit complicated sometimes when you're putting the fabric on. You have to make sure it's all in one way. So you put your fabric over, and you can see that I'm definitely well over, which is fine, I don't mind. It's better to be sure than not, and then cut out a whole new set of fabrics. So then you put that on, you put this on here. This is a hand wind machine. You can get one that's electric. You roll it through. You can do 6 layers at a time. And then you rub it because it gets static, and you take that off, and then you're left, hopefully. Sometimes it doesn't always, needs a bit of a cut because it's 6 layers. That's all right. There we go, and that's all that's left. So that doesn't matter, that just goes in the bin, or you can put it in the scraps for bedding or filling for things that you make. And there we have it, beautiful, perfect hexagons. Now the next one I will do is this one here. So the same process, you can do 6 layers at a time that way. So I'm going to, now it's a bit of a funny angle. Don't know whether I just go for it. Don't know whether that will fit over there. Just, it's all trial and error. That might just fit if I just tweak the fabric. Just let me lie this down. That will just go through just there. So let me bring it down a little bit. I'm going to waste that little bit, but that's okay. I'm going to chop that off. Now I'm only using this one, I don't want to use that. So I have a smaller mat, which is only about that size. I can just put that straight over the top and away she go, but I'm not going to go and get it right now. So in we go again. Now it says only 4 layers, so it will work fine. Pulled a thread, but that's all right. There we go. Don't need that. And there we have it. Now don't forget we've got 2 sides. So instead of having 4, you've actually got 8. And let's get my fabric back again. So I need a lot more. That's a handheld one. You can get an electric one. So these pieces go in strips. You only need 4 per side. And then what you do is you come in and you put your piece there, and you put your piece in there, and then you put your, it becomes all one big strip. Can you see? Oh yeah, you can see that. Let's see if I can move this over a bit more. I can't move the camera because it'll just be all funny. And then you put your other piece here. And then you put your other piece there. And then you sew your other row down the bottom. Don't know if I can do that one. Don't know if I can hit, yeah, I think I do hit and miss. And then you put your white here and your white there. I don't think you go there, I think you do hit and miss like that. Can you see that? Yep. Then you put your other one here. And then put your other one there. And then those white bits go in there like that. So that's how I'm going to do mine. I'm going to sew them. And then I'm going to come along and now this also does paper. So I'm going to cut out this one here. I mean, it wouldn't do paper all of the time because it's got a blade in it. But you can cut your hexagons in the cutter. And then I will come later and turn mine over like that, like EPP, but I just don't know about the papers at the moment, so I'll have to think about that. And then that will go into the center like that. But don't forget, I've got a 1/4 inch around here, so that will make that smaller as well. So basically all the same size, so just one little bit different. And gosh, mine's gonna be, I don't know, about 52. It's going to be a big mat for 52. It's one a week. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'll just keep building mine, and we'll see how we go. So let's pack up. So that's my idea for the hexagons for Christine's project. I don't know what type of video I'll be doing. I don't know when I'll be putting it out because I've just put my sew along is coming out tomorrow, which is the 1st of January, but actually I don't know when I'm going to put this video out, so excuse me if this video goes after the 1st of January because I'm not quite sure when. It's getting late in the day and I'm not quite sure if I'm able to get it out tonight. We'll see what happens. So if you see it, you see it. If you don't, well then you understand. So I'll just bring in some extra fabrics and I'll be using my sewing machine. I'm thinking I might try and use my Singer sewing machine. That's how I go on with that. So that's what I'm using. My little, see there they go there, and then that, and obviously this here is the same size as the template. So I want to thank you very much for watching. Please head over to Create and Craft with Christine. If this is something of interest of you, you could hand stitch this if you wanted to as well. If you wanted to, I could put up a template in the Facebook group of these equilateral triangles. All right, thanks very much for watching. Bye-bye.